Kane. Let's talk about Glenn Jacobs. He won the Republican primary for mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. This is the election that we've been hearing about now for months and months. He's been campaigning, going door to door. And the primary was this past week, this past Tuesday. And out of 40,000 ballots cast in Knox County, Kane won by just 17 votes. There were some outstanding provisional ballots that had to be counted. There was some question about whether or not he actually was going to end up being certified the winner or not. But on Thursday, the result was certified, so he is the winner. And he will be on the ticket. Now, that does not make him the mayor. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Mayor Kane, congratulations. He may well end up winning. He probably will, but he is not the mayor. This was a primary election. He is now on the ticket for the GOP in Knoxville this August. It's another thing. I've seen people mention November. I even initially thought that the election was in November because that's when the elections are. That's when the midterms are. But this election is actually in early August. That is the general election here for this seat. Now, I don't particularly care if he wins or loses. I really don't care. The voters in Knox County are going to decide what policies are important to them. I'm sure what's important to Knox County is very different than what's important to Brooklyn. So that's up to them. I don't care either way. He ran on a platform of low taxes and limited government. And look, there's a reason that they call him Libertarian Kane, even though I should say he doesn't apparently identify as libertarian anymore. And he deleted all of his old blogs that he had online. He wrote these blogs years ago. He used to write blogs under a pseudonym. He called himself Citizen X. And he had a blog called The Adventures of Citizen X. And he would just random political blogs about whatever issues were on his mind or were, important to him at the time. And apparently he took that down. Well, guess what? The Wayback Machine is undefeated. And if you go to the Wayback Machine and you type in adventuresofcitizenx.com, you can still see a lot of those old blogs. So if you want to go back and read some of those old blogs that he wrote, they're still there. But win or lose, the thing about this, though, is it's cool to see somebody who seems genuine in wanting to do something good for the people where he lives, right? I've heard him talk about that in interviews. Him and his wife many years ago, they're not originally from there, but they moved to Tennessee a number of years ago and fell in love with it. And he just cares so deeply about the area where he lives, and seems genuine about it. And here's a guy who put the work in. He went door to door. I've never heard anybody in wrestling, at least in any interviews that I've heard, say one bad word, not one cross word about Kane. Every time somebody talks about, Glenn, it's always very complimentary. It's always coming from a place of respect. So I'm happy for him. And given how red of a state Tennessee is and how many more people voted in the Republican primary than did in the Democratic one, in this primary, Kane got almost 15,000 votes. The Democrat that he's going to be running against, this woman, Linda Haney, won with 4,000 votes in the Democratic primary. So just as a comparison there. So it's all but a lock, I would think. If these numbers are any indication, it's all but a lock that unless there's a Katie Vick-like scandal that breaks, he will be Mayor Kane come this August. Which, now that I say that out loud, sounds only slightly less ridiculous than Mayor McCheese. But yes, Mayor Kane is probably going to be a very real thing in a few months. And even better, and look, I love Kane, but even better, that will take him out of the ring for at least a few years. Because I don't know that people are clamoring to see more Kane on WWE television. So if you are not a fan of seeing Kane wrestling on WWE TV, you should be rooting for him to win in August. Because when and if he does, or when he does, that will take him away from the ring for a while.